Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Drop Plays YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd, and I'm back breaking down a few more games in the MLB for the postseason. We're going to start with the Tigers going up against the Houston Astros. Tigers getting a big win in game number one. And then we're going to talk about the Mets going up against the Brewers. The Mets also taking a big game in game number one. Both road teams took the first game. Will they be able to close it out in game number two? Hope everybody enjoys their Wednesday, and let's break down some ball. All right, guys, here's the recap from Tuesday. Horrible. First day of the postseason, Orioles -1.5 against the Royals. Royals showed me something. 1-0 finish there. Cole Reagans even went out in the fifth inning with some injuries, and the bullpen came out and shut down the O's. So maybe the O's not as good as I thought. I'm kind of glad the Royals won. They are a frisky team. I love when they get in the postseason. So anything can happen. I love the Royals. Bobby Witt only a single in the game going up against Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns, phenomenal game. They wasted the Corbin Burns game, not putting up any runs against the Royals. So wasted talent there. With Corbin Burns on the mound. And then Framber Valdez, I'm going to give him some credit. He bounced back pretty well. I think he went 4 2/3, or maybe he got to the fifth inning, but only one bad inning. The second inning gave up 3 runs. Wasn't getting a whole lot of calls from the home plate umpire. Not sure who it was today, but he was asking for some calls, didn't get them, made him a little bit frustrated in that second inning, and then you saw the rest. He gave up, I believe it was 3 runs in that inning, and I think 2 of them were on 2 outs. So tough break there for Framber Valdez. We'll take the 0-3 day. You got a lot of baseball left. Not too worried about it. 3-4 to start the postseason. Let's take a look at the plays for tomorrow. We're going to look at the Tigers going up against the Astros as the first play. Tigers got the job done in game number one. Only allowed 1 run to the Astros. Tarik Skubal on the mound. Everything is easier with Tarik Skubal on the mound for the Tigers. Now they're going to have some problems because in the broadcast yesterday, it was very apparent that the Tigers had no idea what they're going to do for the next 2 games because they don't have 3 Tarik Skubals that can pitch in the playoffs. I'm not sure who it's going to be right now. There's no starting pitcher out, but I did a little bit of research. Looks like it's going to be Tyler Holton. Again, not the projected starter, but it did say in a couple articles Tyler Holton coming out of the bullpen will be the starter for tomorrow's game. I can't really give too much information about it because I don't know who's going to be pitching, but the bullpen hasn't been bad this season for the Tigers, but we do know who's been pitching for the Astros. It's going to be Hunter Brown. He's going to be going in this elimination game. Hunter Brown on the season, 3.49 ERA, 1.27 whip. He made the fastest turnaround I've ever seen this season in the back half because in the first half of the year, he had over a 5 ERA. He has been lights out ever since the All-Star break. He won a couple of awards in the month of August for the best pitcher in baseball in that month. I like him to keep the Astros alive. I'm taking the Astros -1.5 on the run line as the play. The Astros, they are at home. They can't get swept. That would be embarrassing, even though the Tigers are on a historic run right now, winning some games, getting themselves into the playoffs. They're the hottest team right now. They got hot at the right time. That's the most important thing. You got to take the Astros here. Last season, if you guys remember, I was pretty good in the postseason because if you win the first game, especially in these wild card games, usually I make some money betting on the team that lost the first game. Astros coming off of a loss at home. Take the Astros here, -1.5. Tigers don't have any pitching other than Tarik Skubal. I think Hunter Brown shuts them down. I'm going to take them to force a game number 3. Astros run line as the play. For the second play today, we're going to look at the Mets going up against the Brewers in that series. Mets take a big game in the first game after the doubleheader going up against the Braves. That is very unfortunate for the Brewers. They had all the advantage in the world in that game. Their best pitcher on the mound with Freddie Peralta. Mets coming off of a celebration/travel day to Milwaukee overnight, and then they played the next day. That was a game the Brewers really felt like they had to take. Milwaukee all season long. They've been a top 10 team in every category, offensively, defensively, pitching, bullpen. This is just an all-around really good team. They're not talked about in the paper because they're kind of boring, but this is a good team. I'm going to take them to bounce back at home, just like the Astros, -1.5 on the run line. The Brewers did jump out to an early lead against the Mets. The bats woke up, though, for the Mets in the fifth inning, taking advantage of the bullpen for the Brewers, which has been good on the season. I am going to go with the rotation. It should be Tobias Myers on the mound for them. The Mets will be going with Sean Manaea, and usually I would back Sean Manaea, but he finished off the year pretty poorly, and in his last game of the season going up against the Brewers, he did give up 6 runs off of 7 hits, not getting himself past the 4th inning. He has had a really good back half of the season, but again, coming off back-to-back games to end the year, giving up 3+ runs, and this is an elimination game now for the Brewers at home, just like the Astros. This will probably be their best performance of the season. They can't leave anything to chance in this game because it's now win or go home for both these teams, the Astros and the Brewers. Tobias Myers has actually been pretty good for the Brewers. He hasn't been able to go very deep in a lot of games, but over the last 3 games in the season, he's gone 4+ innings in all 3 of those games, and he's only given up a total of 3 runs going up against the Mets, Pirates, and D-backs. And going up against that Mets team in the last game of the year, 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs allowed. I'll take the Brewers here in this spot. They're the more desperate team. -1.5 as the play. Let's go over to some player props. Take a look at the best player props of the day. The batting prop's going to be between the Braves and the Padres. I'm going to take Michael Harris Jr. to go over 1.5 bases going up against Joe Musgrove. Michael Harris Jr. has been dealing with some injuries all season long. He's back in the lineup. He hasn't been great for the Braves over the last several weeks, but I'm going to trust him in this matchup. I also absolutely hate Joe Musgrove, so I'm going to take Michael Harris Jr. here. He does have a pretty good batting average going up against right-handed pitching. 253 on the season. We're going to see a steady dose of fastball, curveball, cutter, and sweeper in this game. Joe throws those 4 pitches 88% of the time, and he throws all of them above 20%, which is kind of rare for starting pitching. Usually we see the fastball like 50%, and the secondary pitches like 30%. For Joe, it's 25, 20, 20, 20. The best pitch that Michael Harris hits all season long has been the fastball with a 270 batting average. And I put the curveball up there because the batting average is a little bit low, 236, but it's his highest slug percentage of any pitch, almost a 500 slug percentage on the year. I could see Joe Musgrove hanging a curveball in the first pitch of this game and Michael Harris not missing. So I'm going to take the over 1.5 base against Joe Musgrove, who has been very inconsistent over the entire year for the Padres. And for the best pitching prop of the day, we're going to go back to that Mets and Brewers game. I'm taking Sean Manaea over 2.5 runs going up against the Brewers. Again, usually I would trust Sean Manaea in a spot like this because he has earned that. He's been really good this season for the Mets, especially the back half of the year. However, in this spot, I can't trust him because in the last start of the season, again, going up against that Brewers team, 7 runs given up, 6 of them being earned, not making it past the 4th inning. We also have several hitters in this game for the Brewers that are going to be able to crush Sean Manaea. We saw that in the last game of the season. The Brewers this season going up against left-handed pitching, they are hitting 245 in the year. That's 14th in baseball. We are going to see sinker, sweeper, changeup in this game, and the Brewers are one of the best teams in baseball going up against the sinker. They have nearly every single player starting in this game tomorrow that has a plus run value going up against that pitch, and against the changeup, the Brewers are also very good. So there's not going to be any rocking in this game for this Brewers team. They're really good at picking up the sinker. They're really good at picking up the changeup. That's where Sean Manaea has had success, throwing that sinker and then the changeup. Looks the same coming out of the hand, but usually teams rock. I don't think this Brewers team's going to rock. They're going to be able to pick up both those pitches. I'll take his over 2.5 runs as the play. Let's go over to the recap graphic. We're going to be taking the Astros and the Brewers, minus 1.5 on the run line in both those games. Both losing teams coming off of the loss, do or die situation. Take the more desperate team. Michael Harris over 1.5 base against the Padres, and then Sean Manaea over 2.5 runs going up against the Brewers. Guys, it's going to do it for the MLB picks and props for Wednesday, October 2nd slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.